jungle matchup. Both of these junglers can get involved in lanes early. So Jiejie can actually gank fairly early, but Jiejie on this Wukong slaughtered, butchered Kanavi in their 2-0 win versus EDG. We thought that was going to be close. We thought that would be another top-of-the-table clash, but EDG were taken apart by the EDG jungler. And while I do think that EDG are a team that, of the top teams, they are the one with the least star player-iness. I think that you don't often point to one member as much as the other teams. Jiejie has been, if anyone, the real
LDL, and slowly but surely we're seeing him kind of get more used to the pace, get himself built up more definitively as an AD carry that can carry. We're jumping straight onto the riff. We're going to waste absolutely no more time that we have on this game. And already the crowd here in Shanghai, we've flown from Xi'an to Shanghai very, very quickly, and we can come back in and see exactly how both these teams want to kind of go for it. But with a K'Sante and a Sai on the top side, very little really going to be happening up there, you would imagine, unless someone makes a big mistake.
Yeah, that matchup takes a little bit of help for the K'Sante to really get anything done in lane. We saw that already earlier today numerous times throughout the LPL. K'Sante no longer completely safe, blind pickable champion. Bot lane, we saw the level 1 kind of ritual clearing of turrets from the Heimerdinger. Now, Meiko and Leave gonna be able to push this wave in a little easier. This lane, of course, very dependent on how much value Heimerdinger can get from his early plays as well. How much do these junglers impact this, though? See you in the next few minutes.
And look, for top esports, this is an interesting split to kind of see how they go right now, because we're looking at a team that was built their entire brand around a player that no longer plays for them. They have built their logo is a Knight's helmet because of Knight. That's where this team is now, coming in with Rookie, now coming in to see how they're able to kind of work with this guy. And Rookie has always been in the conversation of one of the greatest mid laners to play the game, but has only ever got to go to an international stage a handful of times. Never really that consistent, never really kind of getting to the same accolades as someone like Faker that you would love to see him in. So now this team has to perform. This team has to work out. You've changed out one player that, let's be real, was one of the best in the LPL in terms of mid laners last year to an equal, if not better, mid laner in Rookie. So it has to work now.
It's not like EDG, or without their own losses in this offseason too, in terms of that brand, in terms of the identity, because they had Scout for a very, very long time. He moved over in, what, 2016 odd, to really kind of secure his legacy for this team. So both of these teams find themselves at the top of the table after a time of great change in the LPL. But neither of them been found lacking so far. Top Esports only lost their very first season of spring to Weibo Gaming. They've been on a 5-series win streak since that point, the largest run of form of any team so far in the LPL. Looking at these early games though, Jiejie not found his way into enemy jungle or into lanes just yet. Tian, one of our most accomplished junglers as well in the LPL, to really get a leg up on enemy junglers in that early pathing. Neither of them just yet, though, pulling the trigger. Find themselves on opposite sides of the map as well.
Obviously, we talked about Jiejie very briefly coming into this series, how he just absolutely decimated Kanavi in that game against JDG, but now we're starting to see him. This would be the big, real kind of like temperature check, in my opinion, for someone like Jiejie, because it's like, can you consistently bring the same performance? Tian, arguably the best jungler in our league for multiple different splits, multiple different years. This is the stage now you need to kind of push that forward and say, look, no, I am at the World's 2021 form. I am at the level of which we were able to win that championship and just completely kind of go toe-to-toe with one of the best to ever do it in Canyon. So right now, my eyes are going to be on Jiejie and how he's able to navigate this map and deal with someone as potent and as scary as Tian.
Yeah, I think that Tian has done a good job of not running into the Wukong early. It can be a little spooky Sobrani at that point. Wukong very, very good at early duels. Still one of the very best in the game at doing that. All of these lanes giving it about as good as they take, though. No real big advantages coming up across the board so far. We are seeing this tit for tat in terms of big vision control being put across the board as well. Scuttles and wards into the enemy jungler. A good kind of benchmark for these teams to understand what they're playing around. Dragon spawning, but I'm not really sure we're going to see an early fight over that. It might be top esports with their early lane push, heading towards that as Tian is heading towards that area of the map as well.
as much as obviously we're talking, with Rookie, JackeyLove, and so on, QingTian, in my opinion, has been such an incredible top laner for top esports this year. The Darius triple kill, we saw him on the Renekton recently as well, coming out and getting 2, if not 3 solo kills before he died, and then baiting the rest of the enemy team into him. He has been
against this
monstrous.
one guy called You Should Know Me, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, really doing well. I will say right now, we're going to see a full engage here as Mark does pop his heal to make sure he does not go down. Jiejie taking a little bit of a bad trade, but he's on equal HP, you would imagine, to the enemy jungler. FoFo not quite level 6 just yet, and Rookie leveraging that very well. Uses the soul unbound to make sure that his fate is not sealed. Jiejie needs to be very careful here. He flashes, he doesn't have his decoy yet. They flash forward! First blood for JackeyLove. And that's going to be top esports, putting down some hurt. Really nicely done there. And you can see Jiejie just not having that decoy available means he is so vulnerable.
Yeah, Jiejie caught flat-footed, and this leaves the bot side of the map in a very difficult state of affairs. Rookie hit level 6 first in the mid lane, uses that ultimate to chunk out FoFo and push him back into his lane. Means that he can't respond to this bot lane play. It is going to be a kill and out for top esports. They're not actually going to stick around for this dragon either, and I think this has been also another kind of hallmark of both of these teams. Neither of these teams have been very, they don't easily give up big plays. They have the lowest average deaths in the league as well between the two of them. Top esports with 8.7, EDG with 9.4. Everyone else there doing an awful lot more than them in their own regards. It just means that they're very good at telling when these plays are going to be winning and losing. And at least in this case for EDG, they only lose the one. They're not going to lose the dragon. They're not going to lose anything after that point. It's an awkward one to lose. We talked about Jiejie being very important towards that early game, and you do catch him out of position without that clone immediately available. Things go from bad to worse very quickly, but at least for EDG, it is more than that.
No dragon taken just yet, as we wait to see where this game can go. And honestly, it does feel like it is going to come down to dragon stacking, seeing where you're able to kind of get that setup for yourself, and moving forward into where your team can be strongest. Because you look at the 5v5s from both these sides, both have avenues. It comes down less about what is available to you and how you use those ultimates and those opportunities to the best of your advantage. The execution is the word I was looking for, and that's what you're going to see now from both these teams. How are they able to execute, and if they're able to execute properly?
Yeah, I will say when it comes to the 5v5s, we're talking about that, one of these teams has an Azir. So if you talk about killing front lines, very much advantage towards EDG in that regard. Sion only really has to worry about attack damage. The physical damage side of things doesn't have to worry about a scaling mage on the other side, so we can itemize very effectively. So that means FoFo potentially could be the difference maker when it comes to the later game team fights. Which also means that top esports probably needs to take care of him. So see what can happen with Rookie denying Azir full value. That's going to be a really big point to track.
Get to see now, EDG. No one spotting each other. Mark and Jiejie not really seeing each other.
Ooh,
now they spot each other, so they both know that this is going to be happening on the bot side, as they may look for a little bit of a dive. There is a Cyclone available. Mark moving aggressively forward, had got the turrets down to make sure they couldn't just go for a perfectly good dive. But a plate goes over nonetheless to EDG, and now top esports recognizing they have that information. And I always talk about this, I always love talking about this, because it is just a push and pull setup from either team. It's when you get the good to the great teams that it's not just enough for you to go, oh, we know that the Wukong's bot side. It's we now know the Wukong's bot side. What is the reaction from Tian? The reaction is immediately take away a buff, move yourself towards that Rift Tile, take away that, and get a little bit more. You're always getting a little bit more bang for your buck if you're able to make the more proactive play outside of the vision. So QingTian recognizing there's no real jungler on this top side. Unstoppable onslaught there used, as Ala wants to be the one to be aggressive in this matchup, but gotta be careful. I've seen this happen way too many times where the Cassante looks like he's vulnerable and he ends up being totally just fine.
Yeah, Ala using the breadth of his mana bar to get away with that trade. Also another thing which is obviously very important to note, as opposed to other games that we've seen today, we're not going to get like a super early dragon. I think that's very important to both these teams to not show that opening. Both these teams very good at finding leads and then running those leads away into victories. Going towards this dragon of setup, it has been a very measured affair. It's not been gone after so easily, but with Tian taking an extended stay on that top side, and Azir managing to get control over the mid lane. EDG will get this first dragon of the game. So another Chemtech dragon just as its base form, so we're not going to get a Chemtech Rift in this case, nor are we going to get a Hextech. First dragon down towards EDG. First objective of the game to them on that side, with the Herald being traded for Tian.
An objective apiece. 1,000 gold at the moment for top esports. Really kind of just comes down to a little bit of farm and a little bit of jungle pathing that he's able to kind of get out of. Of course, we did see that blue buff seal coming in from Tian, and right now the stacking of the dragons does lead to EDG, and it makes me excited as well. Whenever I see an early chem dragon, it makes me excited because it means that there's a soul worth fighting for. Because I'll be real with you, it's not that great. Well, it depends. Sion could get great use out of it. Very selective on who's actually excited for the chem soul, as you can see. All out coming out. QingTian did not go through the wall, takes a hell of a bad trade with the turret. Still doing fairly decently here, and you can see Ala respecting it, knowing he doesn't have the unstoppable onslaught. I feel like if he had it there, might have been able to actually kill off the Cassante, but not going to be happening. QingTian doesn't quite get the execution out, and everyone backs away. Might see a dive on the spot side, though.
Yeah, see that QingTian using kind of like the isolated top lane matchup to find something. Tian is in the spot side, though. Cancels the back.
Cancels the back, almost gets the kill, gets the cleanse out of him as well. There is the Enchanted Crystal arrow, but I don't think it's going to be enough. That's a great ultimate from Mark. Perfectly predicted where Leave could only go. He only had one direction, really. And that is a fantastic kill here for top esports as they continue to get control over this bot side.
The early way is down for Leave in that play. Herald summoned as well, adding insult to injury. Jiejie not in position to control Tian on the map, and that has been a big thing in this game. Jiejie not able to use this Wukong the way he did versus EDG to control the enemy jungler, to give his lanes a bit of stability to make their way towards something like a mid-game team fight. Lots of gold now going over towards that Varus on the bot side of the map. It's just pinpoint timing. Not able to get that back off and Leave. Kind of punished for that. Mark has the long-range follow-up. It's one of the things that Heimerdinger does do very, very well. It's one of the things that was nerfed about him in the past. Heimerdinger's ultimate of that upgraded E. Very, very powerful. But EDG still within touching distance. We're getting ult to the mid lane.
Getting ult to the FoFo with a great flash, but now doesn't have himself a shifting sand. There it is. I was going to say a couple of seconds until he was able to pick that one up. Rookie has been relatively quiet so far. Both mid laners relatively quiet, but it has been decent. The arrow, Rookie wise to the tricks of Meiko on this Ashe, and not going to be caught out just yet. Does lose his flash, but keeps his life.
QingTian doing the long wraparound over the enemy turret. Ale, wow, no, I can't ult back to turret. Two bodies blocking his way.
Here we go. Nice little Tokyo drifting there from Ala. Keeps himself and his flash intact. And has his jungler to keep him safe as well. And we've kind of gotten to the point now. This is where we talked about a little bit in that early game. Why these two teams are such early game, focused. As you can see, mid lane, Rookie. He's going to be pushed away. Gets the ultimate there out of FoFo, but they just keep on the pressure. He's not ult, but he's on a ward. So I think FoFo, rightfully so, just going to back himself away. But again, this is why these teams are so good at the early game. They keep pushing forward. They keep looking for advantages. It's not just enough to get FoFo to back away. Right, okay, cool. Now we have priority. Let's go towards this bot side. Cool, now we can take away these camps. Now we can be a bit more of a nuisance. This is where top esports find their advantages.
And this is while bot lane is pushing in from top as well. It's just coordinated, flowing from one side of the map to the other. Tian, has he overstayed though a little bit? No, don't think he has at this point. FoFo doesn't have any ability to roam over, nor does he have that ultimate. Again, it's just these fine margins of kind of understanding what tools are available to fight around, but these teams have very good ability to understand what their damages are.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful underneath the turret. There's going to be an ult for an ult. This fourth shot's not going to be great for either side. Mark flashes away as Meiko goes down, and this is top esports just showing that they are so damn good. Now Tian with that ultimate you mentioned earlier is going to hit FoFo. He's going to get his soul unbound. Maybe not though. Rookie's still pushing forward, but without his fate sealed, it was a couple of seconds away. Rookie not able to get that kill, and FoFo stays alive.
These teams just don't die easy. You have to really, really work to get them into that death chamber. FoFo somehow, despite having a lot of pressure put towards him, doing fairly competitively in CS, not dropping too much farm to his lane opponent of Rookie. Both these teams now kind of looking to see where the next big snowball is, because all the towers are still kind of like, while they might be beaten, still alive. We haven't really got to the point where the big engaged plays can come around. We've already seen the big 5v5s just yet. Again, kind of, we get to see like a lot of this kind of put on display in regards to both of these teams really understanding their damage margins. They are so close to killing each other in that 2v2. Only one person goes down, and EDG, though, still unable to get kills on the board, unable to get themselves really big damage on towers. They're really waiting to see if they can get Ale stood in front of their carries. They can have a bit easier time of trying to do damage in this game.
Well, with Rift Herald taken by Top Esports, they want to try and make sure they can get contention over this dragon. Imagine unless Jiejie can get a real decent engage right now, it's going to be difficult to get on top of it as Sunfire Cape finished up here for Tian. As QingTian picks up his Jack Show on the top side. Doesn't have TP. Neither top laner will be a part of this. So this is a 4v4 for the moment. Jiejie moving forward. JackeyLove going very aggressive. Whiffs the Chain of Corruption. That's a big engage tool no longer available.
Oh, JackeyLove, though, his positioning there really ballsy. Understands he could get engaged onto it, but he trusts himself to flash away if the need comes by. But does miss that ult. Junglers both full HP for this. The poke not landing in real earnest just yet. Ale, QingTian not going to be at this fight. Without the Scion, though, I don't know if EDG feel that great about this fight.
The poke is very real coming out here from the side of Top Esports. I would say interesting before we get into this. Leave has actually gone with a collector first item, so
yeah,
not exactly. Yeah, not common, but definitely still does what he wants because you know, lethality and crit. So best of both worlds, as we've been seeing the crit build and the lethality build kind of shared between our Jin players within the last few days. Allah has now found himself towards this bot side, and it looks like EDG are saying, we want the dragons. We want to try and make this a win condition. Top Esports saying, cool, we're fine with that. We'll take the farm on the side lanes. You see, Rookie already went bot. They did not move QingTian away from that top lane, so this should just be a trade of basically a bit of gold now for power later.
Mountain Rift reveals itself to us. First game of this series. When you got a Scion, of course, any kind of mountain dragon, it's going to be very useful for you, but it's not like Top don't have their own tanks as well. So even basic dragon is going to impact the way that these fights play out. And when the fights have been so close, those very much factor into it. EDG really struggling to push up anywhere across the board right now. FoFo have been held to account by Rookie. Despite not dropping farm, hasn't been able to really use the pushing power of his ears that we know him for. EDG really are banking on these dragons now. In terms of regular play, playing around these lanes, they're struggling to really get themselves a foothold.
Blank might be coming in here from Arla. Never mind, there's the glacial pushing on the Jiejie, but he gets himself away, no problem at all. There we go, there's the unstoppable onslaught. They have a flash on Tian if he wants to use it and keep himself alive. Chain of Corruption keeps Arla away from really making any more of a mark. They're just dropping there with QingTian, recognizing they don't need to do anything else further, and despite this 4,000 gold lead, it is still EDG with plenty of damage in themselves. They've got ways of making Top Esports sweat.
Yeah, definitely turning up the heat. EDG, with moments like this, when actually some ultimates are blown from top, this is when they actually have some ability to walk into the enemy jungle as they are doing right now. EDG doing a decent job, actually, of soaking up some of those big cooldowns. So as much as they've lost the bot lane turret, they do find themselves significantly behind in gold. I feel like they're still making sure that the losses they do have are as contained as they can be. Top, though, still have the chokehold on this game. They still have control. And with moments like this, unless you do have really good disengage play like Jiejie does with his clone at that point, these fights could blow up at any point. You can feel it just on the brink.
Feels like we're teetering so close right now. I feel like we're going to blow this game up with this next dragon. The third Drake generally being one of the more... Actually, that was a bit of a close one there for Tian. He almost got clipped there on the side of it, so Leave not quite able to make that one stick. But yeah, it does feel sometimes like we are just hovering upon the edge of a knife that is willing to either give you the kill or get you killed. As there's an Ash Arrow coming out, trying to use that collector rush damage, but it is still onto a very tanky Sejuani. And now still 2 minutes to the next dragon. Baron will be on the field in 30 seconds, and we've seen how quick these teams are willing to go for that Baron bait. This could be an opportunity for either side to really make this one work. Deadly Flourish lands. There's the ultimate, and the cleanse has to be used alongside the flash. And Eruption is decent, and they've caught out Meiko. Now it's a 4v5 in favor of Top Esports. They've got Rookie coming in from a flank as they look for more. FoFo finds a fantastic ult as they trade back two. It's a 2-for-2 trade at the moment. Leave tries to stay alive, but Rookie's just doing so much. It's gonna be Ale falling almost certainly here as Rookie eventually joins in. Asante doing a lot as well. Rookie cleans up that kill and ends up being a 4-for-2 in favor of Top Esports.
We were on the brink. We were on the cliff's edge, and as we tumble off it, it does go in favor of Top. Rookie, again, continuing to look, pushing back Jiejie. They don't have room to go towards the Baron, though. Jiejie's alive. Tian's dead. Can't really go towards that with the smite disadvantage, despite having probably the ability to kill the Baron yourself right now. So EDG, at least not going to have to suffer that one, but they have lost a big fight at that point. Have to see what happens with the resets just after this point. This starts with slow into root, and then the Scion is in front of the rest of his team. But then after this point, Ale actually doesn't get to block for Meiko, for Leave. It really is a case of, can the front line do enough value for these carries? FoFo does a decent job of trying his best to get the damage in, but Leaf doesn't have the items at this point. He's got to collect the burst, which is great for finishing off kills. Not great for getting people to the point where they can actually be killed, though. And Ale does all of his frontlining after his carries are dead. The last half of his health bar, it's not actually achieving anything for his team. And Sejuani on the other side doing a really great job for Top for at least soaking damage that could have gone on to someone more important.
All right, 30 seconds, and we're going to get another fight, Nymaera, because we have got ourselves a dragon. This would be Soul Point, and Mountain Soul Point, to say the least, is exceptionally powerful. We saw it for AL in that last series, how much it can mitigate, especially when you've got like an assassin-esque champion like Yone on the backside. Tian taking so much damage. Dodge away from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but plenty of cooldown here with the Umbral Glaive, and of course the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. It should be not too long before we see that cooldown come back up, but you've lost a lot of your health bar now as Tian. I don't know if you want to try and move forward onto this, but he's going to try and look for the steal regardless.
He's just looking to get himself into that river. He doesn't have something like a Warmogs, though. Saw that earlier in the day. Teleport coming in from QingTian. Doesn't have Ghost. Does have his ultimate. Can he get the angle? Leaves opened up.
Tian, Leave has been left on his own some. Now he gets all out and put in front of him. He's trying to get taken out, but they have successfully defended him. Never mind. His fate has been sealed. Rookie from all the way on the other side of the Dragon Pit finds his first kill, but QingTian has fallen in favor of the side of EDG. But now, can they look for anything else? They might try and get a TP in with Ale and look for a re-engage on this fight.
Definitely looking for it, but you don't have your AD carry. FoFo not in position to keep himself safe either. EDG feels like their approach towards the last couple of fights, they just haven't been able to stop these solo laners from Top Esports from reaching their backline. Rookie and QingTian being the real difference makers.
We'll say, not to be outdone, EDG saying, look, we'll give up the dragon, that's fine. We don't get the soul point like we wanted, but we will open up that mid-tier 1. So first tower of the game as we look at the replay here, because honestly, I want to keep an eye on Rookie. Rookie comes from like 3 screens away to make this kill happen.
He just runs with the increased movement speed from the E, flashes forward, uses the ult to finish off Leave. But the reason he's allowed to do this is because all of the kind of blocking abilities that EDG do have are kind of been used onto QingTian in kind of desperation. He manages to get it into Leave's kind of melee space without really having to do that much. Just pops his ult and runs at him. And EDG, they need to start finding some way to get Ale just in front of this Jin, in front of this Azir, because the more multi-angle this becomes, the worse it gets, because Top Esports are ready to pounce.
Mortal Shield Bow now for Rookie. Alongside that Blade of the Rune King, plenty of sustain and plenty of ways of killing off tanks or squishies, so he's in a pretty decent setup. I am curious about this Leaf build right now, and I'm curious to see where it brings us.
Let's maybe visit that at a later time. This scares me, because, you know, again, with this kind of build, once you get towards something like an Eclipse later on into the game, I mean, you've got a decent build at that point. The Eclipse gives you enough ability to kind of like get some percent pen. This is very much about snowballing off of getting some kills finished off, though, and they haven't done that. Tian, what out of position though.
Oh, FoFo scoops him up and hands him on a nice little cone for the rest of his team. Have your ice cream and love it. Rookie goes in with the face heal, but now he's behind the wall. FoFo has been killed as JackeyLove picks up another one. JackeyLove is free hitting right now. Look at him. Nobody is touching him as QingTian is just a wall.
Jiejie.
Finally, Jiejie gets himself onto the backside. Rookie trying to see if he can help out his AD carry. It's not to be. And now with Mark and a lot of pressure on him, has to flash away. Meiko trying to be his best AD carry impression. Good flash away by Jiejie to stop QingTian from getting anything there. No collector proc right now from the EDG ADC, but Rookie's still looking for more. Does back himself away. Very, very low health bars. EDG still not dead yet.
They are not even close to it. They find better terrain to fight around. Tian walks into them, and as much as Sejuani is tanking a lot of that damage, and you think, oh, maybe it's not being used onto the backline, there's no one in position from top at this point to really do damage at the start of the fight. That only really comes in later. FoFo jumps in. And yeah, maybe FoFo goes a little too deep on this one. This fight could have been so much more solved if the Azir is around to do damage afterwards. Partly by Rookie mistime and the ultimate just about on the stopwatch just after it. But Leave actually gets to do a little bit of this fight. Jiejie managed to get into the backline. The numerous CC means that EG actually managed to have a way to get these tankier members on this top side into the fight the way that they had failed to before. Top Esports, they can't afford to fight completely front to back. They need to make sure that EDG's backline are not feeling safe in these fights. That's going to start by choosing their terrain a little better next time.
All right, we're going to play a new game, all right? It's going to be,
to
what is Leave building? He's got himself a pickaxe alongside that Mermana and the Collector. I want you to give me a guess on what he's going to build with it.
Oh my word. Is this going to... It could be a Lord... No, it can't even be a Lord Dominance. It can't even be at that point. This confuses me greatly. He could be... He can't be going towards the Infinity Edge because that comes in as 60% of this patch. It can't be that. I don't want to know what he's built at this point. It's not a Mythic. If you build towards an Eclipse, at least you get the % armor pen, you get the spike of that item as well. We're seeing that come through a lot more from the Jhin, but this is, again, not really... Please don't mention
I'm just naming out items that could be a death
doesn't have the best damage for these very important fights. They're already behind. Having builds like this where you're less efficient with your damage, it is going to mean these back and forth, very close fights are going to go slightly more in favor of top. We've gone towards the Baron now.
Yeah, they have no vision. We actually saw the observers highlighting it there very quickly. TP jumps in, that's the power goes down the bot side. You don't take this exceptionally quickly because there's a lethality virus. You're going to see the Ash Arrow goes right between the sticks, but the Sion is good with his ultimate. No one can follow up on the FoFo, who was perfectly caught out there by the Glacial Prison. And now Jiejie is dead. You've lost your jungler. The front-to-back fight is no longer yours. Rookie has arrived, and Rookie's looking to make this one work. FoFo with a massive ultimate, and the carries of EDG are huge. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Leave. Double kill for the Jhin as they're looking to try and see if QingTian can really make this 1v3 work. He should be cut down. He should be cut down as Leave gets himself a triple.
Top Esports, they funnel themselves into the Baron, but they don't find the extra angle again. Rookie finds a way into the fight, but it's not onto the key carries. He's not hitting FoFo, he's not hitting Leave. Leave barely gets hit at all. And after that fight, a lot more gold going back in favor of EDG. They were fighting from a disadvantage up until this point. The next time this comes about, going to be even more scary. Really well played by Ali to just put himself in the front and say, you know what, I don't care that I'm seed, I don't care that I'm losing 2/3 of my HP. That's what it's there for. And Rookie barely missed up. You catch Leave there, maybe it's a completely different fight. Maybe that's what turns things. At the same time, because everything is being used to go forward from top, it means that they don't have the ability to respond to the counter engage that comes out from FoFo. Chooses a great time to shuffle in. And the carries at this point, they don't have anything to be worried about. They don't have ultimates to be really tracking. And while you get a little close to the Cassante running rampant at the back end of that fight, it's not enough for Top Esports to walk away with a win. Now we're back for round many numbers, very high round number at this point between these heavyweights. The extra items are starting to be built up, and we have a Gale Force coming in from Leave. It comes in a little late, and the crit's been built up.
Absolutely. Got the Manamune, or Mermana, I should say, stacked up, and now I love what you mentioned as well, like, you know, these round whatever between these heavyweights. That's what I love about the best teams in the LPL, is that there's no it's not about macroing. It is a little bit, obviously, but it's not always about it. It's not about, you know, doing the high percentage plays. It's about going in face first, looking to roll over your opponent. And we are not going to stop right here, Nymaera. We are coming back in. 3 items on the Jin, 3 items on the Varus. As you can see now, Tian goes forward. Ollie's a little bit separated, but Jiejie fully commits. Rookie sees that he can find his mark, but gets taken back as his soul gets rebound. They do find FoFo, who has been the target of Top Esports in a hell of a lot of these exchanges, but a lot was expended there by Top Esports. You can see flashes, you can see ultimates no longer available, and there's still plenty here for the side of EDG to work with.
Yeah, Ale doesn't have teleport. He might have to actually ult his way through the jungle, do the incomplete drift through it to try and get to this objective on time. Leave is there, but how much can EDG do without their front line?
How much can they do is the question. There's Meiko taking so much damage, and he does fall down. They do know the Dragon's taken very, very low. There's a Sion ult. He's Tokyo drifting. He wants to try and make this one work, but they've completely disengaged. Beautiful work here from Top Esports. They micromanage this team fight so damn well. Not only will they get themselves the Baron, they get themselves 4 kills, and they get themselves control of this game.
Top finally find a way to once again stop this Sion being the main factor in the team fight. You chunk him down and you manage to isolate him away from his carries before they can do damage. I'm sure we'll see some of this in the replay. We will do. At this point, you know, Leave and FoFo, they're doing damage, but Rookie doesn't even need to kill Leave at this point. Trades Flash for Flash to get over that wall. Ale is chunked out so badly with no one dealing damage to top that he has to back. And as soon as Sion is off the board without the teleport, they realize, okay, the timing window is now. And might have joked about, oh, it's about the fighting. This is great understanding of moment-to-moment macro from Top Esports to say they don't have the front line. That's the difference maker. We can force the fight again.
Such a well-played setup. You can see Jiejie is in one thing. I don't understand what that Gale Force was from Leave right there. I didn't actually see it in the initial fight, but well, Gale Force forward and got himself immediately blown up, so not exactly ideal. And now Baron confirmed here for Top Esports. They got themselves a nice little bit of a gold lead as well. 6,000. You can feel with this, the way the game's going, it does feel like if they can keep catching out FoFo, then there's not enough damage on the side of EDG to just fight back.
Baron buff now built up for Top Esports, stacking in these waves, standing as 5 people, trying to isolate out Ale again, but again, he's just so tanky. It's not easy to chunk him down. If they can, it's very valuable. It's not easy to come by.
Oh, FoFo taking a fairly decent chunk. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but it's only onto the Jiejie, and you can see they're just peppering down the... Oh, Rookie just knows the perfect time to go in, picks himself up another kill. This should be the outer tier 2 in top lane taken as well. Does feel like right now, EDG, you're going to need a miracle. You're going to need a lot of mini little fights to get yourself back into this, because right now, it's all Top Esports.
What they really need is just to fight, have Top Esports run into Ale, and hopefully these Varus arrows don't poke out FoFo before he can actually start DPSing. He has items, he has levels. How much can he do with them?
How much can they do with him? FoFo is still here, though. You got to be very aware of it. But they're not really taking damage. Soul unbound as Ale now has to play front line. Flashes away because he knows if he gets caught, he's dead. Rookie looking for more, but it was Jiejie's decoy that gets caught out. QingTian gets caught out, as does Tian. But this is exactly what Top Esports want. It's your frontliners. It's the K'Sante and the Jiejie just absorbing all of this damage. Now that Ale looks for something, but that something is not what he thought it was. Tries to go into a zombie form to do a little bit of damage here, a little bit of crash control. But it ends up being nothing else taken by Top Esports. They didn't take the inhibitor, but they have broken open the base.
Yeah, I really like how JackeyLove is playing these fights, actually. He's not necessarily fighting to completely DPS down Ale. He's looking for the first arrow onto FoFo and Leave to say, when you are trying to walk up to deal damage behind your Sion, you're losing half your HP for it. And with 9 kills to his name, those arrows are almost, you know, taking these carries out of the fight with one good skill shot. Top Esports, they've done a great job of learning on the fly to see what the real breakpoints are in these big team fights. They're going to work their way over towards this dragon now. They're going to have first play at this objective, clear out the vision control if they so wish. It's the only objective on the board right now, and EDG, they do not have any route into this one. At least they can give up some dragons. They have 3 to their name, and I think they're just happy to stall out. Maybe wait for another couple of items on FoFo and Leave.
I was going to say, you know, FoFo has been... not really to his fault. When he's been allowed to play, he has been exceptional in terms of his engages and his ultimates, but has been very hard targeted. Still looking to try and build up towards his third item, as Rookie's already picked up his Infinity Edge. So Rookie is very, very scary. And while FoFo is in that top side, Dragon was taken by Top Esports, guessing that second Drake. And of course, they will rotate down now and take away this turret. So will we see it engage here? It feels like it'll be difficult to end at this turret. You're so relatively short range here on Top Esports. You would have to put yourself in pretty bad position against something like a Azir, but they all back away, and everyone just kind of keeps themselves alive. No real push in that top side, so no threat on that inhibitor for the moment. There's a chain of corruption coming out. It's onto the Scion, who's just kind of soaking it all up. That Ash Arrow does hit. Rookie goes onto the backside, but immediately has to go back to his soul. Everyone backs themselves away. No one really dies. A couple of ultimates burned, and both teams just testing the water, dipping their toe in, seeing how cold or how warm it really is.
Yeah, and Top, they're not really interested in letting Ale move. He's just got to be tied up. This Scion, if they're stood in front of them, needs to be getting chunked out. As soon as Scion is fighting while the rest of EDG have a chance to damage, very difficult for Top Esports. That's what they want to avoid at all costs. That's why they're playing the game out this way. But after that phase of play, they walk away with the Dragon. They push in a lot of vision to deep into the enemy jungle, into EDG's red side, and they're going to walk away to spend their gold once again. But the game's not over yet. And despite this being a really large gold lead, the nature of something like a hyperscaling tank of Scion with a hyperscaling carry behind him means that the gold it's a metric, but it's not going to be the be-all and end-all. If FoFo, as you said, can actually play these fights, if he can find a room to engage, these fights can still be won by EDG despite that huge gold disadvantage.
The legacy of Shurima gets dropped, Jiejie. Hiding off in the wings. Levels are starting to be stacked up right now. We're seeing level 16s, 17s, 15s pretty much across the board. This is where the game stops becoming about that gold lead like you just mentioned and more about how you execute on it. Stopwatches is available for Jiejie, and of course the Sonya's was already finished up for FoFo, so they're key cooldowns. Everyone's got their summoners available, and this could lead to a very big fight. Baron will be destroyed by either side, whoever decides to focus it. And neither team wants to bring it back. It does look like Leave is building towards that Infinity Edge after finishing off his Gale Force and his Collector alongside that Mana. Right now, it is going to be more pressure in favor of Top Esports to get control of mid, but looks like right now, EDG, they need to fight around this Baron. They can't let this one go for free.
No, they can't. Top Esports, they ran into some issues around the Baron before while they were stuck on the objective, and you have to have someone tanking it instead of having that tank closing down one of the carries. Rookie needs to find an angle into the backline. Watch for his ult, watch for his E's. They've been really determining who can deal damage in EDG.
Here we go. Everyone posturing towards this mid lane. If they keep doing this dance, they'll be onto the next song.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's a great ultimate. And he finds a Fate Seal, but look at Leave. He's going to be able to put down some serious work. FoFo gets out. Jiejie has died. There goes QingTian trying to see if he can make this one work for his team. It ends up being a 2 for none at the moment. Top Esports just burning through it. Leave, though, putting out some serious work right now. Doesn't have any more bullets in the chamber. He keeps himself alive. Ale needs to survive. If he goes down, I feel like that could just be game.
Well, you'd only have Leave at that point. Ale, we've talked about how important he is for these team fights, but Top Esports, what a thread the needle moment from Tian. Catches out the Azir. That Azir we've been so worried about for Top Esports is not able to fight, and Top Esports, they run away with it.
Is this the game right now? They didn't kill off Alan. He's gone back to the base to get himself a Gargoyle Stone Plate and a lot of HP. Here we go. Minions are there. There's the Unstoppable Onslaught. Rookie gets stopped immediately by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it. It's exactly what I said. You needed to kill off this Scion. You needed to stop him from being a meat shield in order to end the game. They don't do that. They're going to back themselves up. But a TP from FoFo, they can't actually escape right now. FoFo's looking for this kill. They might try and go for Baron.
They don't have a lot of their ults. They don't have Barasol. JackeyLove.
Oh, he doesn't pull the trigger on his flash right now. Still has cleanse available to him as well. EDG, they may have lost that fight, but they're not done with this game. They're going to use this now as priority to push themselves forward, deal with mid lane. Rookie goes in. Maybe seeing if he can catch somebody out. There's the face seal. It's FoFo. He kills him. Assassinated on the back end. Rookie does it all. And Rookie is smurfing on this Yone.
How did he even see him? Did he have vision from soldiers, from anything? Rookie is taking this game directly into his own hands. This is it. Could have been the thorn in the side of Top Esports. It has been yanked out. It's been burned over the fire, and Top Esports, they're outplaying their way into a dominant game one. The mid game, but Jiejie not just done with things yet.
Not just him. I don't think he really wanted that. He didn't want that. Didn't want those hands. Didn't want to catch them there. But Dragon goes over. That's the third Dragon for top esports. 27% extra resistances. QingTian on this. Cassante is a happy chappy. Now TP coming in. It's going to be Rookie coming in. His Fate Seal's going to be back very shortly. He has the Randuin's open for a little bit of extra survivability. There's the curtain call. And now Leave is in trouble. He gets himself out just for the moment, only to be killed off again. Rookie. Every split, every year, every meta, this man is just the best of the best. He is just insane in this league.
Yeah, and for top esports to drop there or part ways with their franchise player to pick up probably the one player that could realistically replace a player like Knight. Rookie has absolutely shone. 7-1-5 on this Yone. Again, just controlling this game.
Now we might see the end of it right now as top esports move themselves forward. They've got Baron, they've gotten 2 inhibitors down, they've got super minions coming into the mid lane. Oh, good. Ultimate actually catches JackeyLove on the ankle of his boot. The Rookie goes forward again with that Randuin's Omen, doing so much to just kind of mitigate any of the poke that can come in. Now minions in that mid lane. It looks like top are backing away. They don't have this front to back team fight underneath the towers. They're happy with the damage they've done, and they don't want to lose this game off of a silly fight.
And again, these teams just don't give up easy. EDG, despite being behind in pretty much the entirety of this game, they've made top esports think. As soon as this Jhin ultimate opens up, you realize probably pretty much done at that point. Rookie's in the area, has his ultimate back up and leave. Just doesn't have the information really to play that out. Maybe if he's got someone who stood up a little bit in front of him to block out Rookie, things could have been a little more safe for him. But Leave, not for the first time, really just caught flat-footed by the man in the mid lane.
Man in the mid lane has also got himself a stopwatch, so it is not getting easier to stop.
Oh, and a Randuin's on top of those 3 dragons, by the way. Yeah.
I mean, look, you know, you get the 3 mountains, 27% extra on top of that efficiency. It feels good, man. Feels good, man. But right now, it is just top esports. I will say they are ahead, and they are like so well fed in terms of their carries. But we are in the hyper late game. It's 4-item Azir. It's a 4-item, if not 5-item. Jhin. This is where the game starts to become a little bit more about execution. Yes, you have the gold lead. Yes, you are equal on dragons, but you haven't ended the game. But 1 minute left on your Baron, and with the Baron push in the mid lane, they didn't actually feel comfortable going for it. So we'll see if EDG are able to kind of defend themselves against this. They'll need one last-ditch effort as they go for it. Tian does not pull the ultimate trigger. They do end up getting the stopwatch out of QingTian, so there's one blown. They haven't lost the tower just yet. Meiko taking a lot of damage. Rookie hasn't fully commit just yet. Flash away. Vale goes down. That's your front line done and buried. Yes, he will fall. The minions are doing the work onto the Nexus turrets, and this game is finally finished. Rookie goes forward and just keeps putting out damage. Top esports finally looking like the team we knew they would be coming into this split. Jiejie trying to survive, uses a GA to give as much time as he possibly can. FoFo finally gets an opportunity to fight, finally gets to do a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be for anything. Top esports in a 42-minute banger get themselves game 1.
Game started to deliver a Sheen. Match of the week, EDG top esports, 2 of our 5-1 teams. The winner of this looking to join LNG at the very top of the table. That first game